All right, we are live. Welcome, everybody, to the Footy Fetish Show, sponsored by Total 90. Today, we've got a lot of special guests. We've got the one and only Mike Daddy. Welcome back, Mike Daddy.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Glad to be back.
And also, we've got two really special guests talking about Arsenal Bayern. First, we've got Parker, our Bundesliga pundit. What's up, Parker?
Yo, what up?
And also joining us to represent the Arsenal fan group, we got Gunner Mike. What's up, Gunner Mike?
Fellas, what's happening? How y'all doing?
Glad to have the band back together. Boone, I'm gonna pass it to you. Get this going.
Yeah, so we're gonna dive right into some Arsenal and Bayern today. One of those matchups I think it circled on everybody's schedule coming up this week. Going into this one, we both were undefeated. So it's kind of big matchup here. You'd think the stars would come out. You'd think you'd see a lot of goals here too, with these two teams being so aggressive and high scoring most of the time. Well, we had a 3-1 Arsenal victory today, but I think we got to break it down. There's a whole lot more than that. We had a first half that ended in a draw, so we had a 1-1 draw going into half, and then the second half kind of exploded for Arsenal. So kind of wanted to pass it over to the greatest Bavarian there is, or that's ever been on the Footy Fetish Show. What's your thoughts on this match, Parker? What were your thoughts going into it? I assume you're thinking 8-0 Bayern, right?
No. I mean, full disclosure, my I put in the bet 2-2. 2-2 correct nice. Score was my my go-to there. So I figured there was going to be goals on both sides, and it was going to be pretty competitive. Arsenal's been playing great ball lately, and Bayern has been too. So you figure you put both of them against each other, and you hopefully see a good, well-played match, which ended up being the case for, like you said, up until about halftime. But, it just wasn't our day. Arsenal played better, commanded the midfield, held us, while the possession looked, a lot in our favor for a while. They just couldn't do anything with it. It was a lot of passing back and forth across the back line. Rice did a phenomenal job keeping the pressure amongst others, forcing us to do that and not really advancing the ball. We saw Kane not really too active, finding himself dropping back in the midfield a lot, and really just relying on the counter to try and get anything going for us, which, our goal was great. Shout out Carl, 17-year-old phenom, great finish. Beautiful ball from Kimmich, one touch pass in from Gnabry. Can't hate on the finish there. So, that was promising to see. Came up short, but, I think we'll still be competitive moving forward.
Glad you brought up Carl, too, because that was kind of a bright spot for me, kind of stuck out to me, obviously, with him scoring the one goal. But do you know much of a background story on him? Has he come out of a Bayern system?
No, he's German, so he's been playing with all the youth teams coming up and has been a big name. But Bayern brought him in young, and he's proven to be a big name for us. We've got some voids to fill. Obviously, right now we're down. From Musiala, that's a very big pain point for us. I was, I actually went to that game and saw him get hurt, so that was heartbreaking for me. Luis Diaz is out on suspension from a red card from the previous game, so we're filling in some voids here and there, and I think he was probably the bright spot for Bayern today. Certainly wasn't Neuer.
Yeah, so he was playing a little too much sweeper keeper today, huh?
Yeah, he I think his mind moves faster than his legs do nowadays.
That's good. The old man's mind's moving though. At least still, that's good.
Yeah, he misjudged that. He could have done better on that corner. Not to say that that was completely his fault, because others around him didn't pick up that corner either. Just so happened that everything focused on him for that. But yeah, Carl played great. I think beyond that, you saw a couple good balls out of Kimmich, out to the wing. Obviously, his pass started the goal. He had a couple good balls in, but outside of that, there really wasn't, in my opinion, I didn't see anything creative coming out of any of our, offensive possessions. It was just back and forth, and Arsenal just held their ground, played confident, kept that pressure going, and resulted in a 3-1 win.
Nice. Yeah, I was gonna say it's good. It's always good to see those youngins, jump in, especially in a big game like this. I think we see a whole lot of them. At least top of my head, I can think of how we see a lot of them get those minutes finally in Champions League, but might not necessarily make a big difference like that. So it's always cool to see that happen.
Yeah, soccer is one of those sports where you have the benefit of if you've got the talent, then typically you can get some minutes. Unlike other sports where you might have to ride the bench and sit behind people for some extended period of time. If you're good, you're good, and they're going to play you. And we've seen that across, the world with different players. You got your Yamals and others, and now we got Carl, 17 years old.
That's good. Hopefully we get to hear more from him. I saw Harry was I think he was bitching about some he was talking about set pieces.
Yeah.
I saw some article pop up about that. I don't know what he's talking about exactly, but I don't know if you heard about that. But maybe he's talking about the corner, them defending on the corner. I don't know.
Yeah, that wasn't too obviously there was I was surprised that Arsenal only scored one corner. There was a lot that were, those balls whipped in from Saka and Rice are just like, consistently great balls in, and you've got, players on the Arsenal side that can finish, and they were unlucky that a lot of those landed on Marino's head. He probably could have had a hat trick off of just headers, off of set pieces. But yeah, Harry Kane. I don't know. It was a quiet night for him. Raya wasn't really challenged outside of obviously that one finish from Carl. Not much you can do about that. But other than that, he really didn't have much to do today. Kane was playing a lot deep, dragging defenders out, trying to create space up top for the wingers, and you would have thought it would have worked out better, or by halftime you figured they might have changed up some of that strategy, and they didn't.
It'd be a great time to pass it to Gunnar Mike, because I was going to say I had this game on in the background while I was working today, and I felt like every time I'd look at the TV, your boy Moreno was either going, oh, or I was like, oh, that's perfect. Sometimes you can see it happening before it happens. I was like, oh, that's a beautiful ball. Never mind. So yeah, it's kind of funny you mentioned him. So I know you got the jersey, huh, Malone?
What
the Marino jersey?
Yeah, man. Look, it's gonna be my next purchase. I love Mourinho though, man. He's doing the job for us. He's in a tough spot. Gyökeres is hurt. Kai is hurt. So he's having to fill in. As far as being like a false nine, he really, he does decent, in the build up, so on and so forth. But yeah, but the finishing, he leaves something to be desired sometimes. That's for sure. Yeah, no, man. Look, boys played well today. I've been on the end of a lot of, 10-2 aggregates, 8-2 aggregates, and granted, this is just a group play game, but I think it's a good marker for us. Bayern, it's been like the best team so far. You know, they've been on a crazy run. So, you know, I think it was good. Everybody showed up, including the manager, making good subs. It was a good game. It was a good game. You know, so shout out to the guys, man.
I want
to go ahead, Hugh.
Tag on to that, Gunner Mike there. The substitutions, instant impact, right? So he brings on Madueke and Calafiori, and within maybe a minute, granted, Upamecano handed the ball over right in the defensive third, but Calafiori gets the ball in the wing, crosses it in, Madueke's there, goal. And you can't help but wonder, like, you know, managers are genius, right? 2 players subbed in, immediate impact, got the lead, right? It's just you dream about that as a coach, subbing in players and having an impact, because then it looks like you're a genius. That was probably one of my favorite things to see during this game.
Yeah, no, it was great. And I tell you, like, you know, obviously it worked out on the offensive end, you know, because of the giveaway from Upamecano, but I really think he had Calafiori come in for defensive reasons. Like, Miles Lewis-Skelly was getting worked all game. They were targeting him at a certain point. It was like, all right, this ball is going to this side every single time, and they're trying to put him in some awkward positions. So, yeah, I think it was a, you know, defensive switch first and foremost. But it worked out. You know, Calafiori, man, you know, he's been on a crazy run this season. Thank God he's, like, healthy. Let me knock on wood. Because, like, last season, it was, you know, he plays a game, he's out 2 games. You know, plays 2 games, he's out the next 6. You know what I'm saying? But he's on a good little run of health here, so I think he's showing what he's got. But, I mean, he'll definitely be the first choice on the weekend against Chelsea, you know. But, yeah, no, man. Baller. But, you know, tell you who else. Go ahead.
Other thing I wanted to point out that I was really impressed with Arteta was he knew that the strength of Bayern was in their midfield with Kimmich and Pavlovic, as well as maybe like Gnabry dropping in and Kane dropping in. And what I really liked was he maintained numbers in the midfield really well. Like, there wasn't a lot of options for Bayern to progress the ball through the middle, which forced them to play the ball, like you were saying, into that weakness, which was Lewis-Skelly. Just putting the ball over the top, forcing him to make a play against Olise, who is probably, like Parker was saying, one of their most creative players on the field that day. So it was really interesting to see these 2 managers battle it out. I would have loved to have seen Luis Diaz on the left and Olise on the right, just to offer a little bit of balance between attacking on the left and attacking on the right. No disrespect to Gnabry. I don't think he's built to be a winger anymore. I think he's better suited to be kind of centrally. But hoping that these 2 teams face off with a little bit more health between them, in addition to Musiala. Musiala being injured has been a huge hit. The midfield created. But credit to Carl. Carl has stepped up in a big way. He's 17. That's crazy. We saw 2 teenagers this match day score goals in the Champions League. You can't help but go, these guys are going to be the future generational players, and the other one being Estevao. I mean, we're witnessing, like, the birth of these 2 generational players. It was really exciting to see a player like Carl step up in the way he did. And that goal that he scored was absolutely emphatic. Like, there was no doubt that was not going to go in. It was absolutely – you could just see the confidence in his body language. As soon as that ball came across, like, that's a goal. And he smashed it home. Credit to both of those teams. This was a really interesting game to watch off the start, because both of the teams were not letting the other team kind of settle in. Arsenal would kick one across, Bayern would kick one back. They try to maintain a little possession, and then eventually they kick one back. There wasn't a lot of, like, settling into the other team's half. The defending team would just kick it away. They didn't even want to try and risk a build out. But Bayern definitely did maintain possession. And Parker, as you and I were talking about, it was possession that led to nothing. So,
yeah, there was a lot of trying to build out the back. There were countless, like, you could see it before it happened. You'd see a ball try to get played to the midfield, and just like the pressure from Arsenal, so many giveaways and just lackadaisical passes that turned into counters within their own defending third. So it was not ideal. Sometimes it felt like Upa just threw on an Arsenal jersey.
Hey man,
that dude's a liability.
That guy Upamecano, man. So he was supposed to be there. He was supposed to be there.
And honestly, you keep mentioning Musiala as a sore spot, and on our end, you keep we were targeting Lewis Skelly. Obviously Limer counter on our end was the target. Another big player that we've been missing is Alphonso Davies, who's close to return as well. So I think that'll be a big boost. Hopefully we can get all of our core back in at a given time, because that'll certainly help fill that left back spot and feel a bit more firm on the defensive end. I really thought
their returns.
I thought he's been practicing. I'm pretty sure. I don't have an exact timeline. I know Musiala is not, probably not till next year, but I'm pretty sure Davies is pretty close.
Okay, cool.
I'm sure he's lost a little pep in his step, but it's got to be better than Limer.
Totally agree. I'm going to pass it back to Bill Clinton's wiener.
Most important thing in America right now. Mike, I still got my free Upamecano bumper sticker, man.
Hey man, look,
the movement, dude. The movement was there.
Look, it was there. It was there, man.
That was a 2-year movement.
It was.
Hey man, he can still come one of these days, man. It's all good, man. If he wants to pull up, we'll take him in London, man. But hey, real quick, I do want to shout out Martin Zubamendi. What a player! What a player! What a player! Don't get me wrong, Declan Rice, man of the match, Eze was balling, so on and so forth. But the only reason they're able to do anything that they're doing is because Zubamendi is just holding that shit down in the 6th spot. I mean, I'm not going to go as far to say, he's Jorginho-esque, but that's what he does for us. I mean, what he was doing in Chelsea, just kind of in that sort of role. Sturdy, give him the ball at any time. You're not going to take it off him. He's going to progress the ball. He's keeping shit ticking, setting the pace, setting the tone. I mean, he's the guy. He's the guy. He's really good. But yeah, I've enjoyed him. I think he was definitely like, they're not talking about his performance enough for me. But
he was definitely an underrated signing for sure.
Yeah, he's just really good. Obviously, Rice was phenomenal. I don't know what he's on right now, but he's on some other shit just as far as how he's playing. And then Eze, man, Eze's he's a baller now. Hey, we're gonna have a conundrum here with Odegaard. You saw him get back on the pitch today as well, so I don't know how that's gonna get played out, but good problem to have, I guess.
Let's talk about it. Who do you think gets the start there between the two of them?
Man, I mean, I feel like it's hard to take Eze off the pitch right now. I just do. I mean, he's a goal threat. Odegaard hasn't been a goal threat in a while. He's a goal threat. He's got flair, just a little bit more wiggle, if that makes sense. It's just, and you need that in that final third and that sort of pitch. Seems to have a good connection with, the wingers. I don't know. I like him. I like him in that spot. Just a little more dynamic. And I feel like that's what we need right now, especially with how teams play against Arsenal. I feel like you got to have that. So,
yeah, I would agree. I think you got also kind of ease back Odegaard. He's just been not as consistent as you'd like him to be for a center midfielder. Eze looks like he's built to last for the entire season. I mean, if you look at the consistency in the number of games that he has performed and showed up and played 90 to 70 minutes, it's just, how do you not continue to play him while he's on such hot form right now? He only got 1 assist, but he was so instrumental in the buildup and in the attacking third. It's just like Zubamendi for you. Eze does what Zubamendi does for you. Like he does things that might not go on the score sheet, but he's so instrumental in that building up the attack. He's for me the signing that might tilt Arsenal to be the favorite to win the Premier League, possibly the Champions League this year as well, because he just does so much for Arsenal in the front third of the field.
Yeah, I just need Mikel to not overthink it. Just don't overthink it. It's all good. Just let it flow.
You're in a great problem right now because you have so much depth in your team.
Yeah,
and that's been the problem for the last couple seasons, right? Is injuries. So now you got a good squad, good depth. People are healthy. I think, like you said, you keep playing the people that are trending up, and maybe you just kind of super sub in Odegaard where you can, and maybe that keeps him healthier longer.
Yeah, no, spot on. I've never seen Arsenal have this sort of team ever, as far as just quality and quantity of player. I bring it up all the time. I remember when their only summer signing was Peter Cech from Chelsea. Like, I remember that shit, bro. Like, so this shit now is this shit is unreal. So,
Yeah, a good metric.
Spend more, damn it. Fuck.
Spend more. I mean, why not? Like, you have the money.
Okay, ain't my money. Look, run it.
One of my favorite metrics to evaluate a team on like the quality of their talent is if you just look at all of the international starters on a team. And when you have players like Calafiori, Odegaard, Martinelli subbing in off the bench, like that's nuts because all of those guys are on the 26-man roster for their countries. You look at the starting lineup for Arsenal. Raya, I'm not sure if he's the starter, but he should be. Timber is definitely a starter. Saliba is definitely a starter. Zubamendi, I'm pretty sure he's the starter for Spain. Rice, yep. Saka, yep. Eze, yep. Pretty sure Trossard as well. And you go and look at Bayern. I'm not so sure most of those guys are starters for their national team. Neuer probably lost the job to Germany. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Stanisic, I don't even know what country he's from. Is he German?
No, he's what is he?
Upamecano, French, probably a backup. Germany. Lemire, don't know. Pretty sure he's German.
Stanisic is Croatian. I'm pretty sure he's a starter for them.
Oh, he's definitely a starter for them. Yeah. Yeah, that's just, you already know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, where I'm going is, I mean, if you just count the number of international call-ups on these two teams. Now, granted, you're missing Davies call-up, you're missing Musiala call-up, and you're missing Luis Diaz. All three of those not only are call-ups, but they're starters. So you get those three players back on team, and this is a drastically different matchup. Hoping we get to see that. That would be a really exciting knockout stage. I don't know if Malone, I don't know if you're down for that.
I will pass. Sir.
Pass on that.
Pass.
Yeah.
I can see him in the final. I can live with that one way or another. I don't need to see him to get there.
Yeah. No, but this has been an exceptional match day. I just want to quickly point out the others that we were watching. Chelsea Barcelona, incredible. Tottenham PSG, amazing. Atletico Inter. This new league style Champions League now allows us this opportunity to see multiple big hitters go head to head, which I'm all for it. I used to be against this, but now I'm here for it. I think this is incredible to be able to see Arsenal and Bayern go up against each other in a game that doesn't really matter, because now the two of them can kind of battle. You're like, all right, we lose, whatever. At least we can, play in 7 more match days and grow up the table. But I'll stop talking here. I'll pass it over to who's got some points they want to add here. Bill Clinton's Wiener, how you feeling?
Yeah, man, it's cool to see these big matchups so early in the champion. It's like we're always waiting for these knockout games in the knockout stage. Now we're seeing knockout matches in the beginning stages. So it's kind of cool to see that. It's kind of also I feel like it helps the guys out too. Kind of get a feel for how these other big teams are looking, rather than we have to play Slavia Praha for the 4th time. So I feel like that's kind of cool too. So it's almost like putting everybody kind of on a pretty even level. And by the time we get to those knockout games, we kind of know what to expect by then. Good for the bettors.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, I think we have exhausted this. Love this conversation. I think it's time for shout outs. Bill, why don't you let the Bill Clinton Wiener, why don't you lead us into the shout outs here?
The thing should have its own show. I'm telling you. So big. So huge right now. Let's just shout out. Let's just shout out Nike. What a great company. No, my shout out's going to be to my wife. It's her birthday tomorrow, so happy birthday to Kimberly. I will be Thanksgiving and birthday the same day, so we're going to be relaxing, but I'm about to be cooking my ass off here in a minute. So
shout out Kim, shout out to Kim, shout out Mama Wells.
That's right. Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
I'm gonna go up the list here. We got Gunner Mike. Who's your shout
out? First, hey, happy birthday to your wife. But secondly, shout out Noni Madueke, first goal for the club today. Caught a lot of flack when he got signed. Dude's a baller. Happy to see it. Shout out to him, man. More to come.
Love it. Parker. Baveria Parker.
And play it easy. Just give a shout out to Leonard Carl, next up and comer.
Nice.
Big things coming.
Shout out. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, big things coming from him. Bright future.
Real quick, before I get my shout out, do you think he cracks the starting 11 for Germany in the World Cup?
I think there's potential. We've been in kind of that limbo stage between, pretty much ever since like the 14 World Cup. There was a couple years where those players stuck around, and ever since then it's been kind of back and forth. How do we rebuild? And I think he fits kind of where we want to go with the national team. Try to just, kind of start clean, give up, there's still a couple key players that we've got in there that, Kimmich's obviously there, but, there's a lot of youth coming up that we want to see produce for the national team.
Nice. I'm going to give a double shout out here. Number one, Esteval. Dude's baller. Had to wear the Brazil jersey, represent for Esteval. Can't wait to see what he can do for that national team. And second shout out, Christian Pulisic. Dude's on fire. Won the Milan derby. Milan is red. Fucking on fire right now. Shout out Christian Pulisic, AC Milan, and the Rossoneri. What do you want to close this out? Or sorry, Bill Clinton's Wiener. You close this out?
Absolutely. Season 1, Bill Clinton's Wiener coming soon. We just haven't found anybody big enough to play it yet. Play the actual role of it. So we're working on it. Cool to be with you guys again, man. Final thoughts. I think just keep on watching that Champions League. We're just gonna have bigger matches from here on out, like we were just saying. So I think we got to keep focused on that. Until next time, that's all I got for you.
All right. Peace out, y'all.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Hey, good deal, fellas. Y'all be good.